Well, as you guys may know, iOS 14 has just officially came out, and what I can tell you is that it's been a long run. It hasn't been an easy run at all. But I think for the most part, for a majority of people out there, I still think you should probably stick with iOS 13. But I would say if you're okay with a little bit of an unstable version, if you're okay with having a couple of bugs here and there, I think even a phone like an iPhone 8 could experience some problems. Now, this is not a slow phone by any means. It's not a bad phone. It's not even an old phone, but you could still run into issues. I've even installed it on my iPhone 10s and 10R, and those have had some issues as well. But I think for the majority of people out there, I think if you install it, you'll probably end up having a better version of iOS than not. So there are tons of features in here. I'll go ahead and talk about a couple of them, at least the ones that I think are really cool. And I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a speed test as well between iOS 13 and iOS 14 to see if which one is faster. Now, one of the main features within iOS 14 that's one of the most visual ones is the one you can already see on the display, which is the widgets. Now, I was really concerned when I first heard about it because I was like, oh, are the widgets going to be too small for like a smaller display like an iPhone 8? And I can tell you honestly, even on a display like an iPhone SE, it really doesn't look that bad. Like it actually looks pretty good, which is something I'm really happy about. Anytime I get to see, a new kind of refresh to look on a display like a smaller one like this, I think that's a very awesome thing, one of my favorite things for sure. Now we have a ton of different widgets, and if I swipe to the left, you can actually see all the widgets that are available, and even more if you click the edit button up here and click the plus in the top right corner, you actually be able to see a ton of more widgets. And what's really cool is that first of all, you have all these ones that are built in, but I'm pretty sure Apple is going to open this up to a lot more developers in the future, and you'll pretty much be able to go and use a Spotify one. That's what I've heard. And a different one, a Snapchat one, maybe an Instagram one, who knows. There may be a ton of new widgets that are available, and I think that's going to be a really awesome thing and going to just add that much more experience into your device, even on an iPhone 8, which is going to be really awesome. And I think the widgets look great. I think the battery one is one of my favorite ones. And once I update my device to iOS 14, my main device, I'm literally going to just put widgets all over the place probably. Now the next thing that I was really happy to see that Apple did do was the app library. So if we swipe all the way to the right side, you'll see this new kind of layout. And some people may like it, some people might not. Me personally, I think it's actually really cool. And what this does is that it breaks down all of your apps into these smaller folders. So as you can see, we have, the games folder, we have social folder, whatever. And basically, if you don't want to have an app on your main screen, you can actually hide it here and have it displayed here, which is really cool. Now, another cool thing, let's say you don't know where your app is or whatever, or what it's classified under, you can actually swipe down from the top and get into all your apps over here. So that's another really awesome thing. Now, like I stated before, this kind of gives me like iOS 7 type of vibes. It's kind of funny, but I think it's still really cool and definitely one of my favorite features of iOS 14. Actually, this is a really good feature. I still think widgets are probably top tier, but another one of my favorite, probably, I think this is probably my favorite feature of iOS 14, would definitely be picture-in-picture. So what this does, I'm sure you guys already know. Let's say you're watching a YouTube video or something like that, right? I don't think Apple has any videos here. Maybe they do. Let's say I was watching their video. What you can actually do is you can pop this video out in picture, hop out of here, and still be able to use that video and watch it while you're doing something else. And that is a really awesome thing. We've been having it on iPads and on MacBooks and everything since like 2003, but now we actually have it on our iPhones as well, which is really cool. And this is one of those things that I really missed about Android. Whenever I used an Android device and I would go back to iOS, I'm like, I really want picture-in-picture. And now we have that capability, which is really cool. And like I said before, even on an iPhone 8, which is not an old phone by any means, but it still runs it perfectly fine, which is really cool. Now we also have a new Siri, which is smaller. So as you can see, it doesn't take up the whole display. It just takes up a little small portion at the bottom, which is really cool. And again, it's one of those cool little things that Apple was thinking about for us. And I think that's an amazing feature. I literally love that so much. And I'm so happy they put it on iOS 14. We also have a new caller user interface, so when somebody calls us, it doesn't take up the whole display, it just takes up a small little portion up top. Same thing when somebody FaceTimes us, and I think that's really cool as well. I hate when I'm using my phone or I have my phone to the side and it literally takes up the whole display. It's just it looks so outdated and looks so weird. Now there's way less wasted space in it. I think you can still swipe it out of the way and still use your device and even pick up that phone call later if you want to. So that's another really awesome thing as well. Now, another thing that was really important that iOS 14 brought is basically, a little bit more security. So when an app like, Facebook, for example, if they're snooping things in the background or using our microphone or camera without our permission, basically it'll go ahead and notify us that, oh, Facebook used your camera 10 seconds ago or something. And that's actually really, really interesting. Kind of scary that apps have that type of, technology to do that already, which is so crazy. So Apple kind of notifies us about that, which adds so much more security to our devices, which is so cool. And on top of that, AirPods got a huge update within iOS 14 as well. And we now have spatial audio features. We now have automatic device switching, and spatial audio I think came just an update a couple days ago, but we now have low battery alerts and we have optimized battery charging as well, which is really, really cool. So it's so awesome that not only did our iPhones get pretty big updates, but AirPods also got updates as well within this, which is really, really awesome. So that really pretty much covers it up, everything I wanted to hit on. Now I'll go ahead and do a speed test. I have my other iPhone 8 right here that's on iOS 13. So let's go and see which one is faster, iOS 13 or iOS 14. Okay, so I got all my apps right here. So let me go ahead and clear out all of them in the background. Okay, so again, iOS 14 is on the right, iOS 13 is on the left. So let's go and load up the App Store. 3, 2, 1. And iOS 13 was the faster one, just by a little bit though. iOS 14 was right there. Scrolling speeds, they look kind of the same. I don't really think one glitches. Maybe iOS 14 seems a little bit, less smooth, but they both look kind of the same, to be honest. They both look really, really good. Now I have a bunch of these third-party apps that we'll get into. Let's go ahead and do Fruit Ninja. 3, 2, 1. And both of them require me to go and put in my age. So let me go ahead and do accept. 3, 2, 1. Well, that one screwed up. Snake vs. Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And they both were almost identical. They both were almost on the same time. Getting into some gameplay, they look about the same as well. I don't think one really blows the other one out of the water. So let's do whatever this one is. 3, 2, 1. And Paper.io, I forgot that app. iOS 13 wins. iOS 14 was a little bit behind, getting into some gameplay. See if there's going to be a difference. Actually, I think iOS 14 looks a little bit smoother. Actually, they both look kind of the same. I don't know what just glitched up on this phone, but yeah, they both look kind of the same there. Let's do Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. And iOS 13 was faster there. Facebook. 3, 2, 1. And almost identically the same there as well. Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And iOS 14 I think was actually a little bit faster there, which is really, really cool. Instagram. 3, 2, 1. And I think iOS 14 was just a little bit ahead. iOS 13 was right behind it though. Quizlet. 3, 2, 1. Identically the same. Dropbox. 3, 2, 1. iOS 13 was a little bit ahead of it. I guess we can go and do Real Racing 3. 3, 2, 1. I hope I don't have to download it on either of these devices because that'd be really annoying. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, so they're still taking their time. Okay, iOS 13 seems to load into that screen faster, where iOS 14 is still on that older display. And we're fully loaded on iOS 13. Now I'm wondering what's going on with iOS 14. Okay, so just change screens. So eventually we do get into it on iOS 14. So that was a pretty big difference. I don't really know what happened. It's pretty much the exact same app on both. So that was really, really interesting. I don't know what happened there. I did run a benchmark though, which I'll go ahead and show you guys. And I didn't think the scores were that crazier. They look kind of the same on both, to be honest. And as you can see, a little bit of difference for the single core score, but the multi-core score is actually higher on the iPhone 7 running on the iPhone 8 running iOS 13. So you might find yourself having a faster experience on this phone on iOS 13 than on iOS 14. But again, that can change in the future once iOS 14 becomes more optimized. By the last version of iOS 14, it's probably going to be faster or just as fast as this, to be honest. So that really pretty much covers it up, guys. iOS 14 has been a ride. If you have an iPhone 8, I would recommend probably waiting until iOS 14.0.1 comes out or something, but I still think iOS 14 is a really good update. But maybe stick with iOS 13 for the time being. Unless you guys really want to update, then go for it. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. my Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.